Hello and welcome to the Astrology Forecast. My name is Sage. Here's your eye into the sky, letting you know what the cosmic events are for the week, why they matter, and how you can use this information in your everyday life. Happy first week of 2024. We are officially 1 week into the new year. Always like to do a quick check-in. I feel like in order for us to move forward each and every week in these forecasts, it is equally as important for us to look back, see how the cosmic events that we've been learning about have been playing out for us, and take a minute to actually reflect on this. What maybe situations came up for you in the past week. I know Mars entered into Capricorn this past week on Thursday. This was a big shift, especially if you have a lot of Capricorn energy in your chart. You definitely felt this. I know I felt this a lot. It really motivated me to get up, get out, and get moving, and really just hit the ground running when it comes to this new energy cycle that we're in. I know obviously a lot of us don't say that this is the real new year. As we know, there is a lot of debate over that because there is the energetic new year coming up in the spring, right, during the spring equinox. But nevertheless, this is a beautiful time to sort of shift and maybe reset and just turn a new leaf, right? Start fresh, and just welcome in the new vibration of 2024. So diving into all things this week, and also this month, we are in the midst of Capricorn season. It is 1 week into January. Quick reminder, guys, if you are still interested in understanding what January has in store for you, maybe you've experienced a little bit already since the first, and you also want to get a heads up as to what is to come. I do offer personal January forecast readings. I do these every single month. They are always open and available. If you're just simply interested in understanding how the current planets are showing up in your birth chart, this is a very specific reading to see what the energy is like for you for the month. And also, quick reminder again, 50% off of all Capricorn solar return chart readings. If you are a Capricorn sun sign, maybe you have a loved one that has a Capricorn birthday, either maybe it passed or it's coming up, and you're looking for the perfect gift for them, this is also something I offer as a gift certificate. If you are interested, make sure you hit the link below or hit my Instagram and go ahead and message me, especially if you are looking to gift a reading to a friend. And of course, guys, thank you so much for always tuning in and being present, being consistent, for resharing and just all the love and support. If you haven't already, make sure that you do hit the subscribe button. If you've been getting value from these videos, it may be last week's or even right now, please go ahead and hit the like button. And as always, tap the notification bell so you can stay up to date. I post forecasts every single Sunday for the upcoming week, so you know what to expect for your week ahead. So let's dive into this week. We have two major cosmic events. The first one is happening on Thursday, January 11th. This is the first lunation of 2024. We have a new moon in Capricorn. Now, I know I've been talking a lot about Capricorn as we are in the midst of Capricorn season. And if you haven't already picked up on kind of how things flow in our sky, oftentimes when the sun is in a particular zodiac sign, other planets follow suit. As we know, of course, every planet is revolving around our sun, but also loves to hang out near the sun. So this is why we have a lot of other planets as well hanging out in Capricorn, such as Mars, right? And Mercury is soon to come. So stay tuned. We will be discussing all things Mercury coming up. But first, let's talk about the new moon in Capricorn. This is going exact at 20 degrees Capricorn. If you're on the East Coast, I actually wrote the time down this time, 6:58. What is that? AM. I couldn't tell if it was AM or PM in my notes. AM, 6:58 AM. So it's early in the morning. We have a Capricorn new moon. What's a new moon, right? Let's talk about that really quickly. A new moon is when the sun and the moon are together in the same sign. So basically, the sun is in Capricorn. We know that, right? We're in Capricorn season. The moon is now catching up and meeting up with the sun in the sign of Capricorn. Now, let's discuss some major themes to this new moon energy. As we know, new moons are a time of a complete reset. This is the beginning of a new lunar cycle. In this case, it's also the first lunation of the new year. So a lot of new beginnings are being ushered in with this new moon. If you feel like maybe you didn't get that fresh start you were looking for on January 1st, no worries. This is actually a beautiful retake if you are looking to, get back into the flow of resetting things for the new year. And maybe you just feel like you got the warm up, but now you're really ready to move forward and actually set those goals. So, new moon in Capricorn. This is a week where we're experiencing a lot of energy reset and also a lot of, I believe, very refreshing energy. This new moon happens to be in trine with Uranus in Taurus. Uranus, the planet of innovation, giving us a lot of boost when it comes to new ideas, looking outside of the box, and looking to kind of push past where we've been in the past. So, a lot of looking ahead and really taking on this new, fresh energy. On top of that, the new moon is also in sextile with Neptune and Pisces, which is a really good relationship between these planets. Basically, this is signifying a lot of creative energy between both Neptune and Uranus. And of course, the moon being our emotional body. We're really getting that urge, that push to create and to tap into those more creative energies within us. Look at ways that we can not only create but innovate. This is really the energy of this week. Now, going into the full moon, or sorry, the new moon in Capricorn, this is an earth sign, right? Capricorn is cardinal earth. This is the sign of really wanting to dig deep, to really ground yourself, to really set your roots. And of course, this is perfect. Starting a new year, right? We want to start everything with a solid foundation. This is what the new moon in Capricorn is providing for us. We also have Mars and Jupiter this week in trine. Excellent for positivity and optimism, especially when it comes to hitting your goals. So let's discuss 3 ways to work with the new moon in Capricorn. The first way to really, work with this new moon energy. New moons, of course, are a time of planting seeds. This is like a blank canvas where we can really put our intentions forward and watch how they manifest in the coming weeks leading up to the full moon. Now, the first thing I will say, and I've said this before when it comes to Capricorn, I said this when we began the new year, especially when Mercury went direct. And Mercury will be entering Capricorn just later on this week. So that's even better for this energy. But setting fresh goals. And I really want to emphasize fresh goals because even though we all spent a lot of time entering into the new year, setting goals, right, wanting to really make sure that we started off the new year on a good note, this is sort of the retake, right, the take two. This is again a new moon, which in astrology world really does signify a new moon, right? Month, moon. That's actually where we get the word month from, is the word moon. Because years ago, that's how people would track time. The moon actually gave us our first calendar, and that's how we were able to track time, was through the phases of the moon. And of course, nowadays we call that a month. Now, it does not align with the calendar month, right? The month and the month don't align. If that was the case, then the first new moon would also be the first of the month, and that's just not it. Right? We're having a new moon in the middle of January, pretty much. So don't go by that, but understand on an energetic basis, yes, this is a new moon, right? This is a new month. This is a fresh start. And so setting goals, and not just setting them, guys, but in an earth sign, we want to make it real. This is super important for earth energy. So write it down. If you started that vision board, maybe you created the vision board, work with it, look at it, put it, hang it up somewhere if you haven't done that already. Write down your goals, get a to-do list, maybe put a whiteboard up somewhere in your house and really make that your blank canvas upon which you can write down the words that stick out to you, write down the intentions that matter to you, write down the foundation upon which you intend to build yourself. Capricorn is the sign of the builder. And of course, a new moon, a new lunar cycle is the perfect opportunity to lay the foundation, lay the groundwork, become that architect to your dreams, to your goals. So this is the first thing. And I always want to emphasize the realism part of Capricorn. When you're setting these goals, ask yourself, is it realistic? Now, I know all you Jupiter ruled signs are like, don't worry about that, right? And of course, as I already mentioned, Jupiter is in a really positive relationship with Mars this week, which is really giving us a beautiful boost of optimism and positivity and this sense of being able to just take on the world. And yes, of course, everybody's capable of this. And the Pisces moon in me says, go do it, right? Reach your dreams. All of that's true. But when I say be realistic, be practical, it's because the moon is in Capricorn, which is an earth sign that's very practical, it's very pragmatic. Not only that, but the moon is in its detriment in Capricorn, which just basically means that this is a more challenging energy for the moon. The moon is, of course, our emotions. Moon rules over the sign of Cancer. Cancer is opposite to Capricorn. So Capricorn is everything that Cancer is not, which makes being in Capricorn a very uncomfortable place for the moon. Now, this isn't something to fear or fret over because, as we know, we can always make use of this energy, hence why I am providing these three ways we can work with it. But understand that on an emotional level, this is not a watery moon. This is not one of those psychic, intuitive moons, right? We've got Mars hanging out near this new moon. Mars is the planet of action and willpower. It's a lot of that physical energy, not so much the spiritual. And of course, while Capricorn is that practical magic, it is still based in the earth, right? It's still rooted in that grounded earth energy. So we have to honor that and understand that on an emotional level, we might be acting way more on a pragmatic, logical basis. Our emotions might take a backseat to our motivation and drive to pursue whatever makes us feel good. And I'm emphasizing the word feel because it's still the moon, which rules over our emotional body, right? That energy within us that moves throughout us. But at the same time, it's not tapping into that water energy. This is earth. This is what is real, true, and something you can actually tangibly work with. So this is that physical energy that the moon is translating forward. So this is the first thing. Number two is to honor what is timeless. And what do I mean by this? Capricorn is the sign of what is tried and true. Capricorn is the sign of tradition and understanding that longevity matters, right? Endurance matters. And so how can we honor that which is timeless, right? This means that if you're setting goals, set goals that are not trendy, not so much trendy as much as they are timeless, right? Traditional, true to the core. We want something that we can see through to the end. Sometimes trends come and go, but those things that are timeless, I always like to equate Capricorn to like the little black dress, right? Because that's a timeless piece of elegance that, as you know, all the ladies on here know, that is something that is something you can always rely on, right? And that is what Earth is. That's what Capricorn is. And so, as you're setting your goals during this new moon, as you're tapping into this lunar energy, make sure that you're setting goals that feel like they can be something you can achieve 6 months, a year, 2 years from now. Capricorn loves the long term game. This is definitely a sign that wants to see it through to the end. So, set those goals that you know you can follow through with. That's the point here. It's not to be cool. It's not to say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to drink all these juices. I'm going to juice this. I'm going to, I'm going to plant my own that. I'm going to bake my own this. I'm going to go shopping here. You don't do what is cute and trendy and, a hashtag on Instagram right now. That's not what Capricorn's about. This is setting those goals that long term you can see yourself building upon. Get that certification, build that skill set, read that book that is going to deepen your knowledge, right? These are the goals that are coming with a lot more substance and weight. And that's what the moon in Capricorn is really pulling out of us this time. Last but not least is we want to connect with the earth. This is the third way we can really work with the new moon in Capricorn. Work with the earth. Understand that when the sun and the moon and Mars and Jupiter are all in earth signs, we're really getting grounded to begin the new year. Now, this can look like as you're, on your way to work, just stop for a second. Take a deep breath. Maybe you're in the car as you're listening to this right now. I know a lot of you listen on your commute to work in the morning. Take a moment, roll down your window, just take a breath. Maybe you're walking outside, put your hand on the ground, touch the earth. Go and sit underneath a tree to write down your goals. Do something that can connect you with nature, with Mother Earth. Right now, we don't have a lot of fire in the sky, right? We actually only have two planets, kind of one because Mercury is on its way out of Sagittarius come the end of the week. Venus is in Sagittarius, and that's pretty much it. Besides, we have the North Node in Aries. So, really, we have a lot more of that earth and water energy permeating our sky right now, which translates over to yin energy, right? Yin yang. This is yin. Now, yin is feminine, yin is receptive, yin is gentle, yin is nurturing, which really means that we're in a position right now to receive. We're not so much going out and exerting all this energy. We want to take action, but we also want to receive during the new moon. Specifically, I want to make that clear. I'm not talking about all of January. With Mars and Capricorn, I want you to go out and take action on those goals. But just for this little sliver of time when that new moon is hitting on the 11th, take a moment to really receive the wisdom of Mother Nature, because as we know, there's a lot that can be garnered from this, and this can really help you to formulate what these fresh new goals are. It's a blank canvas during a new moon. So take advantage of this time without so much of that need to express your energy forward. Take a moment to receive it, tap into all the earth energy that's present right now. Allow the yin energy to really come forth for you, because this is where you can really receive it. Meditate underneath a tree. Again, sit in the grass. I know it's winter time, so I'm not expecting everybody to, of course, sit in the cold. But at the same time, if you simply just walk outside, it doesn't matter what the weather is, dress appropriately and just take advantage of this earth energy that's really holding us in its grip and really grounding us to begin this new year. And last but not least, I do want to make note of the signs that will be most affected by this new moon in both a positive way and maybe a more challenging way. So if you are an earth sign, if you are a Capricorn, a Taurus, or a Virgo, or if you have these placements in your big three, expect this new moon to feel really positive for you, to feel really balanced and in harmony, and like you're really being able to sink your feet down and really root into the earth. Now, if you are an Aries, Libra, or Cancer, this new moon can bring a little bit more tension, a little bit more push to maybe do things that you haven't done before. Again, Uranus is present, pushing us to break beyond what we've done in the past. And again, the new moon in Capricorn is forming a more tense relationship with planets that are in Aries, Libra, and Cancer. So if you have those placements in your big three, understand that this new moon might present some more challenging situations that you have to navigate on your own. But understand at the end of the day, this energy is really good for all my yin signs. Again, earth signs especially, let me get that right. But water signs too. If you have a lot of water in your chart, this should be a very positive new moon for you. And again, this is always an opportunity to really sink our teeth into those goals and take root on what matters the most for us. All right, so let's dive into the second cosmic event of this week happening on Saturday, January 13th. This is Mercury entering into Capricorn. So, again, continuing with this Capricorn energy, Mercury has been bouncing back and forth between Capricorn and Sagittarius ever since December 1st. It first entered Capricorn on December 1st, 2023. It then went retrograde on December 13th. Now, during the retrograde, it moved so far back that it actually re-entered Sagittarius, which was on December 23rd, and it stayed in Sagittarius all the way up until the 13th of January. Now, in that time, Mercury also went direct on January 1st. So there was a lot of activity, a lot of bouncing back and forth between the retrograde, between being direct, and of course going in between both the fire sign of Sag and the earth sign of Capricorn. Now that Mercury is officially direct, which again happened on January 1st, it is actually going back into Capricorn. So on January 13th, Mercury will be entering Capricorn for the last time in the next couple of months, right? We have a lot more time now in between now and the next time Mercury enters Capricorn. We've definitely had a lot of this energy, so it's certainly time to wrap it up. The last time that Mercury was in Capricorn and was actually traveling through the degrees it will be traveling through was the beginning of December. So think back on what was happening for you at the very beginning of December, specifically the first week of December all the way up until the 13th. So those first 2 weeks. As a lot of the topics and themes that you might have been thinking about, talking about, or learning about will come back up for either review, revision, or just simply to be continued and to be carried forward, as Mercury is now re-entering Capricorn at 0 degrees, and it will be moving through the same degrees that it initially retrograded through. So we're really going kind of through this post shadow that Mercury retrograde has given us. As we know, this is still that integration period. And so this is a really good time to think back on, again, those goals we set, what intentions we had, maybe again, what we were thinking about, what conversations were we having, what was really permeating our mind around the very beginning of December. This is going to be what we might be revisiting now towards the end of January. This will be really in its most potent effect between the 13th and the 21st. Once the sun enters Aquarius, that's really when we get a major shift in January. And this will also be when the Mercury post shadow from the retrograde is officially over. And so, again, if you have been feeling some remnant energy, some leftover retrograde energy, that's okay. That's to be expected. Biggest piece of advice, of course, with that is to just honor the time to integrate, journal, meditate, have conversations around what you've been experiencing, and know that a lot of the answers to maybe some leftover questions will come up for us, especially towards the end of the month, as Mercury will, of course, be joining Mars again, and that's going to give us a big boost of energy, and a lot of things that we can really chew on when it comes to those communication and conversation topics. And so let's talk about what are three ways we can work with Mercury now being back in Capricorn. This is an energy that we are very familiar with. But what makes this different is number one, it's not retrograde anymore. That's very, very important. Number two, we are in 2024, so the energy is different, right? Even on a numerology level, the number vibration is different. And of course, we've already gone through these degrees of Capricorn. Mercury's already gone through here. We're retracing our steps. And so this time it might be a little bit easier. So the first thing I would recommend is to focus and find ways to increase your efficiency. Capricorn doesn't like to waste time. Again, Capricorn wants to get to the top, and we know that getting to the top means we have to do a lot of work. Capricorn is ruled by the planet Saturn. Saturn rules over hard work. So this is nothing new to Capricorn, right? Mercury in Capricorn understands this, but Mercury is that busy bee. Mercury is the planet that rules over our daily activities. And again, in Capricorn, we want to take action on realistic things that can get us ahead, right? This is the sign of ambition, of achievement, of seeking success. And success does mean somewhat speed, right? Now, Capricorn is not the one that's going to be necessarily at the front of the finish line, right? The Capricorn is not the speediest sign in our zodiac, but it certainly is one of the very few that has that endurance and that consistency, while at the same time, Capricorn understands the value of efficiency. And so I say this because if you are someone that has set those goals for the new year, maybe you want to lose weight, maybe you want to build a business, maybe you want to grow in your relationships, don't waste time, right? Let's flip that around. Use your time wisely, right? This is important because Capricorn wants to build upon something that it can see lasting forever, right? That long-term approach. And of course, we don't want to spend forever just laying the groundwork on all of a sudden we realize that maybe this isn't where we want to go. So fail forward, right? Take that time to make sure this is what you want to do. Set your sail, move ahead, and don't waste time. If you have to, utilize your resources. This is what Capricorn energy is all about. This is cardinal earth. This is where the earth begins. Utilize the resources required for you to get to the top of the mountain, right? The mountain goat climbing its mountain. We want to reach that. We want to do it with as much efficiency as we can. Number two. Number two is to organize and discuss your finances. Go through the business plan with a fine tooth comb. Mercury deals over everything involving the mercantile, right? This is the buying and the selling. Mercury does deal a lot when it comes to trade. And so, again, if you are somebody that cares about your income and your expenditure and you want to look at your material resources, Capricorn rules over material resources. Not so much as maybe Taurus, for example, but Capricorn is that business model in which the material resources are generated from. If that makes sense, right? Capricorn provides the structure in which we make the money. And so, what is the structure? Go through and organize the structure in which you make your money. Maybe this is your business plan. Maybe this is your work schedule or work routine. This is an excellent time to go through your finances. It's tax season. If you can, do your taxes during the time when Mercury is in Capricorn. This will be all the way until February 5th. So you have a good chunk of time, a couple weeks in there to take advantage of Mercury, the planet that does deal over money, buying, selling, exchanging, right? It's also the planet of communication, and those day-to-day mercurial activities. in an earth sign that's very grounded, that's very rooted in, saving, making sure that you have enough again for the long term. So great time to organize your finances, organize your business, and just make sure that all of those material resources are in order. Number three, the last thing I would really say to utilize this Mercury and Capricorn time, brainstorm. I say brainstorm because Mercury rules over the mind, it also rules over the mouth. But really brainstorm all of the different ways that you can accumulate these material resources, that you can use this to get ahead, that you can use this to build upon yourself, whether this be your personal development, maybe this is your finances, maybe this is within your relationship, this could be in your business or in your work or with your kids, right? I'm just listing off so many ways that this energy can take root, and really understand that the importance here is to know that you're going to be thinking about Capricorn things. Know where you've got Capricorn in your birth chart, as your mind will be on the themes of that house. And again, in a general sense, we are looking at Capricorn things like government, like those larger governing structures. And so we're talking about this more, we're brainstorming ways that we can maybe even improve this, right? This is again that Uranus energy. Uranus is in Taurus. So during the time that Mercury is in Capricorn, yes, it will form a great relationship with Uranus, which will be a really good boost for our mind. It's like an electric spark that says, let's go ahead and go further. Let's do something different. Let's innovate the business plan. Let's, redo our finances and make them even more efficient and more effective. That is really what Capricorn enjoys and loves and really appreciates. So, using Mercury's energy, tap into this and really get solid with those things that help your day to day life tick more efficiently. Again, Mercury will be in Capricorn all the way until February 5th. So, utilize this time, take advantage, because this is a really good opportunity to get more grounded in our communication, in our thoughts, in our speech, even in our learning. If you're looking to learn something new, great time to pick up that book, right? That tangible book, and dive deep. So, with that, you guys, I hope this information was of help. Two major cosmic events this week, both revolving around that Capricorn energy. If you haven't already checked out where Capricorn is in your chart, you need to. It's so important in order to understand where this energy is showing up for you. And if you're not sure, make sure you go ahead, hit the link below. If you're looking to book a reading with me, whether that be a personal reading for January, a birth chart reading, or a solar return chart reading, all is available. And with that, you guys, thank you so much for all the love. Hit the like button if you did get value from this video. Have a beautiful week, and I will see you all again next Sunday.